Jeffrey, and I'm going to be doing a pen review for you today. I'm going to review this pen. This is a Jinhao 188. It's a Chinese pen. It is inexpensive, and I picked it up here in Toronto at a pen shop called Wonder Pens, which I really like, for about $7. Now this is my first pen review video, and the reason why I'm starting with this pen is because since I'm starting with this, I thought maybe I could do a pen that would be a good pen for a starter pen. If you're just getting into fountain pens, or if you're just getting into fountain pens, or if you are interested in picking up one to start using for writing, this would be a decent choice. It is not a huge investment. It is a pen that you could throw in a bag and have it knock around. You wouldn't have to worry about it, and it is frankly a very decent pen, which I will show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the parts of the pen. I'm going to tell you about them a little bit, what I think of them, how I like them. Then I'm going to give you some ratings out of 5. I'm going to rate the design, I'm going to rate the comfort, and I'm going to rate the writing experience and the nib. Give you an average, and then I'm going to do a writing sample. Alright, so let's get started. I have just changed the focus away from me to the pen because obviously that's what we want to see. So I'm going to start with the top. It has, well, the pen itself has a nice cigar shape, tapers slightly down to this end, and tapers slightly down to there. The cap has a rounded top. It's got this nice clip, which I really like actually. It's spring-loaded. It clips easily to the shirt, easily unclips, which is nice, and it goes right through around the top, and I think that looks great. It's squared off. You can see that there. Nice simple design, which I enjoy. The color is orange, which I liked. I think they had a black and a burgundy option as well, which were nice, but I just really like the color of this. It is brass with lacquer over top, I think, or some sort of metal that's been lacquered over. So it's got a lot of weight. This is actually a very heavy pen, especially for the size, which isn't very big. The cap goes down to a silver chrome center ring that says, you probably can't read it, but maybe you can. It says Jinhao on that side. On that side it says 188, which is the model number of this pen. Cap is a click-on. I think you can hear the click. It's actually very, very firmly attached. I'm actually really shaking it. No fear this is going to come off, which is nice. Then we come to the body of the pen. Very simple, cigar shape, nothing in, solid. If this was a piece of plastic, we could convert this to an eyedropper. It's metal, you don't want to do that. The ink can corrode the inside. Thank you. English, very difficult apparently. We have a section which is black, and I'm not sure if it's plastic or metal. It's very smooth, but it's not slippery. You can write with this for quite a while. It's got a thin metal, shiny silver ring there. Slight step down, you don't feel it. It's actually a good size section. My fingers fit in there quite nicely. Then we get to the nib. If you can read that, it says Jinhao, has some scroll work around it, and it says 18K GP, 18 karat gold plated, maybe? I don't know. It says $7. That seems like a very reasonable price for some gold these days. The feed is just a simple feed, fins, nice enough, nothing special. The filling mechanism that comes with it is not cartridges, I like. It is one of these Chinese converters. This one says, can you read that? Lighting. Anyways, it says Jinhao, and has a image of a couple of dudes riding a chariot with a horse pulling them. It's actually kind of nice. The nice thing about this converter is that if you unscrew this metal, the whole thing comes apart, makes it very easy for cleaning. It just is friction fit into there, click it back in, put in ink, suck the ink up out of an ink bottle, which is nice. And I'll show you that when I'm in the writing sample, because I have it empty right now. Click it back together. And that is actually the entire pen. And that's actually the whole pen. So we don't need to be focused so close, so I put it back to normal. Alright, so the ratings on this pen. So I have written down. So design, I'm going to give this pen a 4 out of 5 in design. I actually really like this pen. I like the color. I think it's a great orange, very brilliant. I think that the clip is nice. I like the spring loaded. I like the square design. I like the way it goes all through. I just really like the look of it. It's got the nib. I didn't point that out earlier, but it's very small. You can't see that, but it is barely bigger than my pinky nail. But design-wise, I give it a 4. I think it deserves it. Comfort, I give it a 3.5. And I'm going to say that these ratings are all subjective. Things that I like about the pen will make me rate it higher. Other people are not going to like as much. Things that I dislike about the pen might be benefits for other people. It's all subjective, which is why I think it's good that there's lots of these pen review videos out there, because then you can watch several of them and then find somebody's preferences find somebody whose preferences are similar to your own, and you have more information for when you want to purchase the pen. So just saying. So comfort, I'm actually only going to give this a 3.5, mainly because of the size. This is not a very big pen compared to my hand. When you hold it, you can write with it unposted, but the size issue is more in the size of this section. It's very narrow. After a while, your hand's going to cramp up a bit. My hands are going to cramp up a bit writing with this for a while. Also, especially because it's so heavy. This is a heavy pen. You can post the cap, but then it's very heavy, and it's top heavy, so it gets less comfortable. So, luckily enough, it is just long enough that I can write with it with my not gigantic hands. So that's a good thing. So 3.5 for comfort. Writing, straight out of the box, actually didn't come in a box. What this came in was a plastic sleeve. No box, anything, just a plastic sleeve bag thing. Straight out of the plastic sleeve bag, I would give this writing experience the Nib Performance a 3. Wasn't terrible. Ink came out of it, a little bit dry, and a little bit, there was feedback. It wasn't quite scratchy, but it just wasn't as nice as some other pens I've used. So, out of the box, it was a 3. I've actually worked on this. I put some brass between the tines. I spread the tines out a little bit to get more ink flow. I then sanded, or you put the nib on some abrasive to smooth it, and now I think it writes a lot closer to a 3.5 to almost a 4. I also turned it from a fine medium, closer to fine, to a medium, I think. Just from, this was the first pen I've ever tuned like that, to smooth it, and so I had to keep going back. I would smooth it and write nice in this direction, then go another direction, and it was not nice. So I went back again, and again, and again. Took off probably a fair bit of material in the process, learnt a lot, which is why another thing these pens are great for. They're great to learn on. Wasn't that expensive. I was comfortable putting it to an abrasive. I was comfortable taking it apart. Yeah, this kind of pen is ideal for that. So anyways, now the writing would probably be 3.5 to 4, but I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to give it the rating that it would get just right out of the bag, because conceivably anyone picking this up would just pick it up and try and write with it. And so if you average those out, 4, 3.5, 3, you get a 3.5, which is not bad. Do I think that you need to own this pen? No, you don't need to. It wouldn't be bad. Nice addition, not very expensive. I like these kind of pens because I don't have a lot of money to throw around in pens, but I like to get new pens, so these kind of pens are nice, you know? A small investment, you get something new, you get something you can play with, something you can put some ink in, and they're a lot of fun. I have some measurements. I did these ahead of time. I just used a ruler, just a metal ruler to measure them, so might be a millimeter or so out. The weight's good, I use a digital scale for that. So anyways, cap, this is 140 millimeters. Uncapped, it's 122. Posted, 155. Not the tiniest pen, it's not a gigantic pen. Weight is worth impressive. This is 29 grams. That is a lot for pens. If you see a lot of pen reviews, or if you see some more I do in the future, you'll see that 29 grams is a substantial weight to a pen. Anyways, that's everything I have there. Writing sample will be next, and then we'll be done. Okay, time for the writing sample. This is the Jinhao 188. This is Pelican Mandarin from the Edelstein ink collection. I really like the orange of this pen and this ink, and I thought it would look good in this pen. Now, cartridge converter, if you don't know how it works, it's just you screw down the little piston side to the bottom, dip it into your ink, suck it up, get some ink in there. You can do that a couple of times to get more ink in, get the air bubble out. I don't need this to be absolutely full. I'm not going to be doing a ton of writing with this pen. Sorry, I had to get a Kleenex to wipe this clean. Put away the ink. Put the pen back together. And here we go. So, this is a sorry, it looks like there is too much light. So this is a Jinhao 188. The nib is a fine medium, closer to the medium now, and the ink is Pelican Mandarin. Let's see what it looks like with some writing. This is actually some nice ink. It has some shading in it, which I really like. So for some writing, once upon a time, there was a pelican who ate mandarin oranges all day. So as you can see, this is not a fine line anymore. Ink is flowing, there's no skips, it is relatively quite smooth, especially compared to when I first got it. Still a little bit of feedback. I stopped where I was when I was working on it because I felt like I was possibly going to take it too far. Quickly writing. Don't want to be too legible. I just want to make sure that the feed's going to keep up. And it does. Absolutely no skips in there. As you can see, nice and smooth. And now, it was a little bit dry when I got it. Now it's wet. Lots of ink comes out of it, which I really like. Let's see, is there any line variation? Actually, surprisingly, there is. Excuse me. You can see by putting some pressure, no pressure, no pressure, more pressure, more pressure, more pressure, and then here's no pressure again. There's actually a fair bit of line variation, which is interesting for a $7 pen. There's lots of pens a lot more expensive where you get nothing close to that much. So that is interesting. Coloring is good. Can you write on the reverse? You can. Becomes very fine. And actually not too unpleasantly scratchy. So if that's something you wanted to do, you could. Alright, so that is about it. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.